He is supporting his action. Congress is saying, we are with you. Just like what we read yesterday, standing ready to support. And then he now said, taking decisive action. He's not talking about dialogue or negotiation. He said decisive action. And this includes what? That military force, if necessary. That is the action that Donald Trump will take, and the congresspersons will support that decisive action that he will take. And then the last one I picked out from there is the existential threat. Not challenge or problem. He's calling it existential threat. This means Christians face elimination, genocide. They will still be exterminated. You see what is happening? So the title alone speaks lots of congressional language about Nigeria. And then if you go and read that document, it's like a court document with this word, whereas. It's using that clause, whereas, establishing fact. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll try my best. Establishing fact. The resolution contains multiple whereas clauses. If you go and read it, you will see. So I picked some of the whereas. Please, if you have the document, go through it. It is there online. It says, clause 1 says, whereas Nigeria is experiencing the highest level of violence against Christians in the world since Boko Haram insurgency began in 2009. Did you hear that? Now, this establishes global scale comparison worse than anywhere in the world. It also established the time frame that it happened for 16 years now, 16 years of systematic violence, 16 years of killing, and it's an ongoing nature. That is what the first clause of whereas is covers. Whereas Nigeria is experiencing the highest, and it gave time. And it gave when it started, the time that it started. So it is ongoing nature. Now, whereas 2 says, whereas Boko Haram, the Islamic State of West Africa province, and Fulani militants have systematically targeted Christian communities through massacres, church burnings, kidnappings, sexual violence, leaving villages destroyed and millions displaced. Now, I looked at it as, okay, what does this establish? Now, if you look at it, it has given specific perpetrators' name, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and then critical Fulani militant listed alongside recognized terror group. This is a Fulani herdsmen that NGOZI has been protecting so that we don't call them terrorists. So now Fulani has been integrated inside it. You see? And that has destroyed Hader's farmer conflict narrative because they are now terrorists. Now, it also established systematic nature, not random violence as Nigerian terrorist governments claim. It has a pattern. They have the time they attack, they have when they attack, they have information before they attack. And then it also established the method of this target, that it is massacre, burning, kidnapping, sexual violence, and the rest. And it also established the scale. What is the scale of this destruction? What is the scale of this attack? And he made reference to what I'm seeing as villages that have been destroyed and millions that have been displaced. And then when you go to the whereas clause 3, you will see it said, whereas estimates indicate that between 50,000 and 100,000 Christians have been martyred for their faith since 2009, with more than 7,000 Christians killed in 2025, an average of 35 Christians murdered every day, and over 1,000 churches attacked or destroyed. So what does this establish? These horrific statistics that this man has given. So it shows that historically, the death toll between 50,000 to 100,000. So it is equivalent to genocide that triggered international interventions. And that is why they have decided to take up this challenge, to save the lives of Christians that he is calling us his brothers and sisters. And he has made reference to the current year, which is 7,000 plus have been killed. And he made reference to the daily average of 35 murders per day. And he also made reference to the number of churches, which is 19,000 that has been destroyed. So these numbers make that deniable to be very, very impossible. So I pity those that jump out and said genocide is not happening in Nigeria, like China, like European Union, like Gumi, like Daniel Duella. If time permit, we will go and meet them one by one, like BBC, like Britain. Now let's look at whereas number 4. He said, whereas in Benue and Plateau states alone, more than 9,500 individuals, mostly Christians, were killed between May 2023 and May 2025, with roughly 500,000 newly displaced. Now, this focuses on a specific state to show concentration. He said 2 states alone, that is 9,500 plus, have died in 2 years. Now he made reference to displacement of 500,000 people, which is equivalent to entire size of a city. And then he was so specific, mostly Christians. That means this killing has a target. Now let's look at whereas 5. He said, whereas this is very, very critical, that is to me, whereas the Nigerian government failure to act in defense of Christians. Notice the word that he used there. Failure, not inability or challenges. Because these people know that they have given the Nigerian terrorists money in billions of dollars. They know that they have given Nigerian terrorist government weapons, sophisticated ones, armored tanks and the rest of them. What have they done with those weapons? Where are they? What have they done with the money that they've pumped to them on this guise of fighting terrorism? So he refused to use the word inability or Nigerian government are having challenges, which is now the narrative that they are using. When you see them come out, they'll say, yeah, US should support us. We need help to fight terrorists. What happened? That they need equipment. What happened to the previous ones that they gave to them? Do you think that they have not seen the picture of the armored tankers in our Biafra land? They have seen that they have deployed these armored tankers to our territory to kill us. So why are you crying out for a new one? So that is what I just understand here, that the man refused to use the word, inability or challenges, and use the word failure. Yeah, so this is very, very strong to me, that word that the man used there. Now let's look at clause number 6, the whereas number 6 clause. He said, whereas Nigeria remain one of the only 7 countries worldwide that retain a death penalty blasphemy law enforced across 12 northern states. It has reached, I think he omitted this 12 because it has reached, Sharia law has reached Yoruba land. Yes, it has reached. They established it there. So he has to update this information. So when I looked at that, I said, okay, he is establishing something serious here. He has established legal persecution alongside physical violence, from what he mentioned in that whereas number 6 points there. He has established extreme nature, death penalty for blasphemy. How many laws do we have in one country? He has established limited to northern part. He has established global number, adding Nigeria, that only 7 countries. Because he said, whereas Nigeria remain one of only 7 countries worldwide that retain this death penalty. So the resolution names specific victims. And if you go there, you see Yahya Sharif Aminu, who was Sufi musician in prison for blasphemy. So he has a backup. So who will wake up now? And did you remember the audio I played when we started? Where is Leah? It is here. We are going to talk about that lady. He made reference to Rhoda Jatu, a Christian mother that has been in prison for alleged blasphemy. So they know what they are talking about. And imagine somebody jumping out to tell you things like this does not exist in Nigeria. Now let's look at the whereas number 7. Whereas these attackers are not random or merely intercommunal, but deliberate campaign of religious cleansing as demonstrated by coordinated assaults during Christian holidays. Remember, making reference to Christmas? Now, if you look at what he said, this explicitly rejects what Nigerian government narrative is saying. He said not random, not merely intercommunal, but deliberate religious cleansing. And he cited 2022 Pentecost massacre. He cited Christmas Eve of 2023 massacre. He cited Holy Week this year that hundreds of Christians were killed. Timing of attack on Christian holidays proof religious motivation. What else do they want them to call it? Now, if you go there, you will see operative clauses that has also been attached. What the Congress demand. They don't just write this thing for writing's sake. Because after establishing fact, resolution makes specific demands. Now look at demand number 1. They call upon the United States government to use all available diplomatic, economic, and security tools to pressure the Nigerian government to do what? Remember what he said? He said all available tools. All available tool to me means diplomatic. That is where sanction comes in, isolation comes in, condemnation comes in. They should cut off every aid, every trade. There should be trade restriction. Investment should be blocked. They should suspend every military aid, including selling of arms to them. That is what I understand by him saying all available tool. And they make specific demands on Nigerian government that they should end the impunity for religiously motivated violence. Now, what do I understand by this? Please, you can, when you pick your mic, you can say the way you understand. And what I understand by end impunity for religiously motivated violence is that they should arrest, prosecute, and punish perpetrators, which we know Nigerian terrorist government will never. They will never do this one. So no more releasing of terrorists, but they will never. No more paying Miatela, they will never. They're already on payroll. And then they now say protect Christian communities and clergy from further attack. Even the day they designated Nigeria as CPC, till date as we are speaking, Nigerian terrorists, they are still killing Christians, showing that they will never stop. The only solution is disintegration of Nigeria. These people don't understand English. They don't understand English. So what I understand is they're telling Nigeria to deploy security forces to Christian area. They will not. They will fold their hands, watch and see the terrorists kill 90 Christians. So it will never happen. And they also say return internally displaced persons to their homeland, particularly among Christian communities. Once they return them, terrorists are waiting to slaughter them again. So it will never happen. They also say repeal blasphemy laws and release all prisoners detained for their faith. Nigeria will never release because they have a mission. They are there to implement Sharia. They are there to maintain Usman Dan Fodio conquest. Nothing can stop. That is what I understand. And if you look at demand number 2, it encourages coordination with international partners to deliver humanitarian aid directly to victims through trusted non-governmental and faith-based organizations. This is what is very, very critical. It says deliver aid directly to victims through what? Trusted NGO, faith-based organization. I think, hey, what is happening here now? They have bypassed Nigerian government. He said, don't give them aid. They will embezzle them. That is what I'm translating it now. Give directly to BRGIE. If you want this aid to go directly to victims, give it to our BRGIE. If you give to Nigerian terrorist government, they will pass it and give to their terrorists. They will continue to live large. And demand number 3 says, affirm the commitment of the United States to stand in solidarity with Christians and to defend their right to practice their faith without fear of persecution. This will never happen. This will never happen. So this is formal declaration of American commitment. So it means US will not abandon Nigerian Christians. US recognizes their right to religious freedom and US will take action to defend them. We can hear exactly from the president's mouth. And this is why this is very, very clear and different from every other resolution that have been passed. Yes, this is totally different and it has political significance in what has been submitted. Because this resolution condemns the horrific persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Far too long, the world had turned blind eye to the suffering of innocent Christians in Nigeria, where entire villages were destroyed. So I'm calling on all my colleagues, that is what he said, both Republican and Democrats alike, to unite in defense of faith and freedom. That the United States must make it clear that we will not tolerate the slaughter of Christians or persecution of anyone for their belief in Jesus Christ. And he said, I want to thank President Trump for this bold and unwavering leadership in defense of Christians in Nigeria. And his official designation of Nigeria as a CPC. And then one of the co-sponsors really said, the slaughter of Christians in Nigeria is one of the greatest moral crises of our time. For years, radical Islamic terrorists like Boko Haram have murdered, raped, and burned entire villages simply because men, women, and children refuse to renounce their faith in Jesus Christ. America cannot be silent in the face of such evil. I am proud to stand with President Trump, Representative Really Moore, and the rest of my colleagues supporting this resolution. This is not about politics, it is about principles. Every triumph when good men do, evil triumph when good men do nothing, just like our PM said. We will not look away, we will not be silent, we will stand for the persecuted and fight for their right to live and worship in peace. How did these people get all this? It is our lobby that made this possible. It is the power of lobbying that made it possible. It is the intelligence that BRGIE shared that made this possible. It is our lobbies with BRGIE that made them to have access to this information. So, Biafrans that are listening to us, why I'm taking time to read this is for us all to know that we are not playing anymore, that we have reached the level that we didn't see it coming so fast. And the only thing we have to do to sustain and even move higher from this level is to bring our J and our Gemma. So I will yield my mic here before we go to the next session for anyone who have one or two things to say to Biafrans. I yield my mic. Onyeka, your hand is up.
Yes, am I coming out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, all protocol observed. You see, one thing I'm laughing. I remember one thing I'm just laughing. There was a comment made by the terrorist, the head of the genocide, Satan Sokoto. He said, if anybody have any proof of genocide killing, because they have used media to suppress everything, and they think that without Nigerian media that the US will not get anything they want. They don't know that even it remained for them to see him in his bedroom. That this one shocked them because they think that they have suppressed everything. They have suppressed everything. Even the one media did not report. Our lobbyists, they gather everything. They got everything needed. And again, you see, some of the keywords used there. A president is a president. A president don't use, just like a king, a well-respected traditional ruler. He don't speak anyhow. All the words that come out from their mouth is powerful. You see all those keywords you see there, before they came out to speak in public, they have done everything, see everything, and came conclusion before the president come out to speak. Sometimes President Trump, before he speak, his action goes before his words. Actions go before his words sometimes. But this one, the reason is still there because of we want to give them time. You remember the first regime when he entered, he asked Buhari this question. Late Buhari, why are you killing Christians? He have all those things. This is not just because some people, because most of people are talking, he targeting in Nigeria, he come for resources, he targeting Sahel State. No rubbish. And look at how I describe these people, because when you go to social media this time around, you will see many faces. These many faces from the north, where we are there all this while. When these terrorists want to attack, when they look at allow the army, the military will not come, police will not come. But after the attack, when people want to retaliate, defend themselves, they will come and say, don't take me into your hand, don't take me into your hand. That is how I describe all these gutter errats that just flooded social media. They were all a while enjoying, laughing, frolicking, smiling while the Christians are being slaughtered. Now they have had the voice that they know that voice is not just ordinary voice. All of them come out from their shelves. They come out from their holes. Even some begin to talk. Some attack saying, take care of Biafra and go. Even some, all of them is to tell you that I'm telling you, we the Christians, we this Biafra, we have to be brutal. We have to be. I'm telling you, we have to be 10 times heartless than these people to deal with them, because we have actually tolerated them for decades. And these people, they take us for granted, because that is why I made some comment that there are some teachings we have to stop teaching our children because it's affecting us. And the enemy is taking advantage of that. We have to activate tit for tat in a brutal way against these people. That is why I love one of the quotes from Abraham Lincoln, letter from Abraham Lincoln to his son teacher. He said, teach my son to be tough with tough people and be gentle with gentle people. You know, teach my son to stand and fight if you think he's right. This is how we will teach our children to make sure that all this, the slap here, turn here, vengeance belongs to God. Do you know, all those things must flush all those things out, because he's affecting us, and the enemy is taking advantage of that. These people, can't stand us in anything. They can't stand us in anything. If we start to fight them, we are going to bring them down and chase them to their holes and deal with them. That is why I'm telling our people, rise up anyway, activate yourself, activate your mental power, activate your mental braveness, and be battle ready. Get whatever you can. Whenever they kill any of our people, one, we are going to go after their own. 5. If it's a kid, we go after their kid. If it's women, we go after their women. Anything, proportional retaliation. That is the only solution to end this nonsense. Because when I see how this Northerners, they are talking, I see these people, they are so heartless, so self-centered, wicked. Do you think if oil in our land has to be in the north, do you think these people will still be with us for a long time? Look at the gold in their land, everything. They allocated it to themselves. But our own is what we are sharing. Sultan of Sokoto have 23 oil wells alone in our land. All those things. Sultan, we are going to cut off his head and use his head to play football. You see that man with Legeliosia, dog will feed his body. So also Gumi, they are so disgusting, heartless. Donald Trump, please, and US government, even if I know you don't need the resources, you don't need it. But even if you need it, take it. Those who have been taking it, they are killing us. Take it and save the life of people. It is better for you to take it and save the life than allow the criminals that are taking it and still don't regard us. They want to wipe us away. I'm telling you, all of you that are coming to social media talk trash, we are taking note of your faces. We will not forgive, because it's evident that you are the sponsor, you are the apologist, you are the enablers. Otherwise, where were you all the while they're killing Christians, mass grave, you see everything. You say all those things, are they audio, are they robots? Certain also think that they have suppressed media, so that no thing will come out. They bribe every ambassadors. Forgot that US have their satellites, that they want to see you in your bedroom, they can see you in your bedroom where you they can see you. Because they want they said that they don't want innovation, they don't want to technology. They think that they are everybody's blind like them. That is why they are shocked. Everything that happened, US see everything. They see every genocide, every video. They hide that. Look at that. The man, he said, we know your house, you are where you are. I know where you're from. We know your network. We know your founder. Everything. We are going to fish you out and kill you. That is a strong word. A strong word. They don't mind word. They speak it the way it is to tell that yes, for a leader of the free world to come and use that kind of words in his speech, not yes. Everything has been concluded and we can't wait. We can't wait. I'm telling you. And let me tell you, so to some of our people that are our lobbyists are there. Everything that is your concern, they know it. Our APM are there. Okay? They know BDF. They know BDF. They know that we have defense forces. They know it. They know that the Nigerian military have been compromised. They are terrorists. They can never work with them. If you don't know, there was a time during the Obama, they want to come and capture his Chibok girls. They tell them that they want to do so that the terrorists will sleep. Before they come, they put masks. So Nigerian military is terrorists itself, so they can never work with them. US cannot share intelligence with them. So don't be afraid of that. If they want to collaborate with only Biafra defense forces, they will work together. Don't panic. They know everything that is their concern. All we need to do is to fund, and do what our government is telling us. Everything, they know it better than you think. Thank you.
Thank you. There is breaking news. Donald Trump, the president of the world just granted Tinubu's heart desire. In summary, let me just read for us to understand. Breaking! US President Donald Trump has dropped another explosive statement to the Nigerian current president, Bola Tinubu. Trump said Tinubu was the one who reported Christian killings in 2014. I have just approved his own petition. Tinubu asked the White House to invade Nigeria in 2014 over Christian killings. So I have just approved his own request under his government. Yeah, somebody's mic
Okay.
is on. Somebody's mic is
Okay.
on.
Oh, sorry.
And then he said, what did I stop? Yeah. US President Trump has dropped another explosive statement revealing that Nigerian current president Bola Ahmed Tinubu once petitioned the White House in 2014, accusing the then Nigerian government of committing genocide against Christians. Trump said, in 2014, Tinubu and his APC, 2014, Tinubu and his APC people submitted a petition to the White House saying Christians were being killed in Nigeria, a Christian genocide. They begged America to act. I have just approved that same request under Tinubu's own government. Isn't that something? He continued. It is funny. The same man,
Come
hold
on.
on. We don't have time. Oh, hold on, Onyeka. Where did I stop, Seth? Oh, where did I stop? This thing is tiny.
The same
Um,
man, the same man, the same man, the same man that
yeah,
is
I need
in
to look
government.
for it now because you distracted me. I need to look for it. The writing is tiny. Um, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, the same man who cried to us for help back then is now sitting in the same seat he accused of genocide. And guess what? I have just signed the very petition he brought. That is justice. That is full circle. Trump, speaking with his usual boldness, said, in 2014, Tinubu and his people begged the United States to invade Nigeria. They said Christians were being slaughtered and the government was doing nothing. So they asked us to step in, and guess what? I've just approved that same request, but now under Tinubu's own government. Trump added with his trademark tone, I know everything. Hey, this was sweet bill. I know everything. I have the document. We don't forget. When America moves, the world feels it. Nigeria is about to learn that again. Tinubu started this in 2014. Now he's going to see how it ends. Big time, Trump concluded. Hallelujah. You see, when you live in a glass house, don't throw stone.
Don't throw stone. Don't throw stone, my lady.
Okay. So the game is changing. All right, hold on. Before we go to the next one, because today is fundraising, we have to manage the time. Who is the Rage and Fury? But Holland is here. Oh. I don't know, internet kicked him out now.
Okay, thank you very much, my guest. God bless you very much. Am I coming now?
Yeah, go ahead while we wait for
Okay,
Holland to come back. Welcome. No,
thank you very
they
much.
come.
Thank you, ma. Greetings to you and greetings to all the great Biafrans that are here present, freedom lovers and friends of Biafra. We salute you. Greetings to the United States of America, to the President of the world, His Excellency Donald J. Trump. It's the pride of Christian. It's the pride of God. I would really love it so much. And can I be heard? Am I coming out? Okay, thank you. So my salute to all our leaders, to all the Biafra Defense Forces, and to all the entire lobbyists and the attorney, the moral global strategists. Their strategies are really working indeed. And as a matter of fact, when God gives you the best. But when you choose, you may choose wrongly, you understand? So that's why God knows that God sees the best in us, sees our heart, that we are not wishing anybody evil, we are not wishing anybody bad. Even all these Fulani terrorists that are killing our people, killing Christians here and there, all these Islamic jihadists that are killing people here and there, we don't even wake up and wish them bad. We don't pray that they should die or anything bad. what we pray for is that when they come to kill us, God should give us the power and the ability to defend ourselves. God should help us to do to them that which they wish to do to us. You understand? So that is our mind. And God knows that we have the best hearts, some of the best hearts in the world. And we being the best, God can always direct the best towards our direction. And this is exactly what is happening about our lobbyists now. You understand? Because we did not really choose them. God chose them for us. And by divine providence, God gave them to us. And look at what is happening today. That is the result of good lobbying. You understand? Lobbying team. So kudos to the entire global moral strategies led by Jim Ryan, prepared by our Honorable Mazi Elias de Rasulis. Greetings to all the attorney for everything that is happening. Thank you to all the cabinet members, cabinet ministers of the Biafra Republic government. You have done so well. You have done so well. Your work is what is going right now. Thank God that we went to that congressional briefing, because immediately after that congressional briefing, like everything is left. You understand? Everything is left to. So I really appreciate every one of you, and I want to appeal to Donald Trump again, our president, that the best way to fight insecurity is to detach yourself. You cannot fight what you are aligning with. The moment you begin to align with terrorism, or you begin to align with terrorists to fight against terrorists, that is the moment of failure. It shows that you have already failed before you even start. You understand? So the only way to fight terrorists or terrorism effectively is to align with those that have nothing to do with terrorism. To align with those that have nothing to do with being terrorists. You understand? So you can see the terrorists themselves are the ones that are labeling our army as terrorists. And nowhere you can show that the Biafra Defense Forces, even right from the time of ESN, they invaded churches and they ransacked churches, or they invaded mosques and they kill everybody in the mosque, destroy the mosque. You can't see any video like that. You can't see anywhere where Biafra Defense Forces go to market, they start shooting into the market or residential homes, and they start shooting in the residential homes, like we have seen from the Nigerian military, and they were spraying GPMG into residential home, and they were shouting wusha wusha. You understand? It's only terrorists that do that. So I want to appeal to Donald J. Trump that even as you come, you need your bases in Biafra land, from the ex-Delta state to the ex-River state, ex-Cross River state, Anambra-Igbo, just call them Imo, Abia, all of those ex-Igala, Igodo state, you understand? All those old eastern region, where our mothers started to peace rapper, all these are Biafra region. These are Biafra land, you understand? So these are people that have Christian value. These are people that will be willing to fight against this terrorism and this terrorists. These are people, especially the Biafra Defense Forces, the army that is defending the babies and the women, children of Biafra. These are the only army that do not have their loyalty to any caliphate, any Sokoto caliphate, or to any British Empire or any godfather. You understand? So these are the army that you can align with. So I really want to say a very big thank you to the United States Congress, the senators, the lawmakers, the decision makers, all the media that are speaking up. You know, BBC knows that their time is up. One of those days they used to run propaganda, but it is not the same way this day, you understand? Because everybody, they have a smartphone. Even right on the spot, you can have live report of events that are happening. So there's no way, whatever they call themselves, be they BBC or Rise or whatever, no way they are going to manipulate news. So even though they try to deny, they can deny that this is not happening. Even the more they deny, even as we are speaking now, it's still happening. As they are denying, more killing, more genocide against Christians is still being carried out. You understand? So the truth is that they cannot deny the undeniable. It's only a fool that wants to deny that it's not a murderer, whereas he's holding the head of the person that he has killed in his hand. That is the case of Nigeria. You understand? So Nigeria has become the ex-Nigeria is gone. And we just have to celebrate and say bye-bye, Nigeria. Oh, lo, Nigeria don't feel. Oh, lo, Nigeria don't feel. No remedy, Nigeria don't finish. Oh, lo, Nigeria don't finish. So that is the case. It has become the ex-Nigeria. Let new nations emerge. Biafra is taking the lead. I will be glad to be part of some of the best countries in the world, work with the international community to fight against terrorism, to preserve human life, to protect and defend human life. You understand? We respect human life. It doesn't matter whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, you are a Buddhist, you are a Hindu, you are a traditionalist, a Jewish. So long as you are a human being, we have respect for life. You understand? No man has the right to take life. No man has that power to take another man's life. You understand? That is what we believe in. Live and let live. That's our slogan. You understand? And talking about resources, we have not even, rather they use the resources to buy the sophisticated whatever or exchange them for the weapons with which they kill us with. Our own resources. At the end of the day, we don't benefit from the resources, but they use the resources to buy weapons to kill us, to buy sophisticated weapons to kill us. That has to stop. So as a matter of fact, I really want to say a very big thank you to His Excellency President Donald Trump for all that he's doing. Please let it not just stop at words. Let the action begin immediately because delay is dangerous. Eh? Our people say once woman don't naked like this, they're not a testimony story again. Go on with action, you understand? So let me yield the mic here. My name is Rajan Fury and I yield the mic.
Thank you so much, Reja Fury. Thank you for your submission. Wow, we are still moving. Holland, I don't know why internet is dealing with you like this today. But it was very stable yesterday. I've given you the mic again. Roland, can you hear me? Roland, can you hear? Okay, so let's go to the next session. And this next session, we are going to discuss about the domestic deniers and their propaganda machine. Since nobody is ready to talk, no problem, I'll go ahead. I cannot be tired of talking. So now we need to expose Nigerians themselves, those who are working to deny and cover up the Christian genocide. Yeah, so these people have a platform, they influence, and in some areas, they also have government protection. Okay, hold on, let me give the mic again. Hold on, I've been giving and giving and giving. So they, in some cases, they have government protection, you know. So they're using all of the shield now. They use everything they have to shield the perpetrators. Oh, Guinea, Holland. What? Okay, David is David, go ahead before I continue. Holland, what is happening today now? Hey, internet is dealing with you. David, are you there? Please go ahead before I continue. You can't hear me? Okay. Should I bring you down, David? Can you hear me? Ha. Oh, Guinea. Now, wow. Okay. So I'll be naming some names here. Whenever the internet is stable, they will pick up the mic. So I'll be naming some names here. And you can see that their camp is already collapsing because wish somebody good so that a good thing will come to you. Tinubu was fighting Jonathan today. His desire, his prayers have been answered through Donald Trump. Yes, they brought in insecurity so that they can nail our president that time, which was Jonathan. Now today, expressly, his desire has been given to him. Trump has approved exactly the same request that he made. That is the message I read a few minutes ago, that Trump has dropped another bomb. Yeah, so that was what happened and he got it. So I just want to ask question to those that have been denying that there is no genocide that is happening in Nigeria, including Tinubu, because they have to dig his file now. They've brought us his file because he was the one that, you know, carried out the campaign that there is genocide going on in Nigeria and that the White House should come and help. They should come and intervene. They should come and kill the terrorists that Christians are being killed. And today, being 8th of November 2025, his prayers have been answered. The angel of the Lord, who preserved his case file for him, took the case file to Donald Trump, and then a serious amen was added, bagam, and Trump came out and said, yes, so Tinubu, you see, hey, yeah, my people, you know, it is not the time that you pray to God that he will answer sharp, sharp. Can we not see what they taught us in catechism that time? When God said no, it means he has answered. When God said wait, it still means God has answered. If he gives to you immediately, it still means he has answered. Now, in the case of Tinubu, oh my God, there was a supplication, a prayer request was written to the White House, and then the angel of the Lord took it and kept his prayer request for the right time. For the right time for his prayer request to be answered. And this is the right time, nothing could change it. So as Trump was going through the files, going through the archives, somebody said, oh, Baba, wait, so there was a prayer request here years back. He said, you mean He said, yes. Who made the prayer request? The person said it was Tinubu. He said, oh yeah, let me read the prayer request. And they took the file to him, and President Trump started reading the prayer request. I said, oh my God, I am in the right position to answer this prayer. So many years ago, this same man made this prayer request. This is the right time. That is how our prayer works. Because if the prayer was answered that time, it will not be effective. It will not be effective. So this is the right time. Prayers answered. And Trump has answered it. And you cannot blame him because there was a supplication somewhere. Because even when the prayer was on the table, you could see that people that they were killing and are still killing today have been doing supplication to God and say, God, when will you come and revenge our death? And today, being 8th of November 2025, the file was taken to the throne of thrones and the answer was given to Tinubu. Does anybody in this world have the right to counter what Trump has done today? Nobody. Nobody can counter it. Nobody can kick against it because it is what Tinubu needed. It was what Tinubu requested that has been given to Tinubu. So I am asking those of them that has been denying that there is no genocide. Where is Lee Sharibu? Where is she today? The girl who did not want to deny Christ, where is he? He was 14 years old. I've been making a program with this girl's name. When Boko Haram kidnapped her from her school in Dapchi in 2018, she's now 21 years old. Is she still alive? That is the question. Is she still alive? The terrorists released all other Muslim girls, but they kept Leah. Why? Because she refused to convert to Islam. So think about that. This girl was 14 years old, though, facing armed terrorists. Just look at the environment. 14-year-old. I will not deny Jesus Christ. I am a Christian. Until today, we have not seen this girl. We've not heard anything about this girl. So where is Lee Sharibu? Since you say that there is no genocide going on in Nigeria, where is Deborah? Since you say there is no Christian genocide going on, where is Reverend Lawan Andimu, the pastor that was beheaded on a camera? Where is he? He was the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Adamawa. He was kidnapped alongside two of his pastors, and the terrorists demanded £2 million ransom. When that ransom was not paid fast enough, they had to behead him, and they had the mind to film it and posted it in Facebook. If this was not murder, what is it? If this was not Christian genocide, what name will you call it? Public execution designed to terrorize every Christian in Nigeria. Adini, that reverend, spent his life saving God and his community, and his reward was being beheaded in camera while the world looked away. His killers were never caught, never prosecuted, never punished. You see, he was a man of God. What of the Plateau State massacre? Immediately, Donald Trump designated Nigeria as CPC. 12 Christians were murdered. 12 Christians were murdered. And somebody is saying that there is, I think I've seen hand here, somebody is saying that there is no genocide going on in Nigeria. Where are those people today? Where are they? Since you said there is no genocide going on in Nigeria, where are they? David, can you hear me now? King David, can you hear me?
Can hear you. If you can hear her, say, do a thumb up.
David,
We can hear you. We can hear you, man.
okay.
And anybody that is speaking different with rain or mockery is a security risk. So that person,
So
he
let
and
me
his family, he and his family, he and his family are at security risk. Rain or mockery, everybody decides. Anybody making friend with that man.
David, you have the mic now. David. Hey, internet is kicking him out, bringing him in, kicking him out.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, oh, glory to God. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, and thank you so much, our sister tutors, for that, your wonderful educative submissions. We really appreciate you for coming back once again today to continue our journey into the liberation of our land. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I also send my greetings and our salute goes to the leaders of Biafra. More importantly, we start from our eternal leader, Odumegwu Ojukwu. We appreciate his sacrifices. We also thank and appreciate our leader, Philip Effiong. We appreciate your sacrifices as well. We also appreciate our brother, Ralph Wazirike, once the leader of MASOP. We appreciate your sacrifices because your sacrifice gave birth to our leader, Mazin Nandioku Kanu. We appreciate our leader, Ahamadike One of Biafra land, who have demonstrated his commitment in the fight for the liberation of his land. We appreciate you so much. We also appreciate our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpanjoku, who has also brought his own experience to bear and made a wonderful contribution that brought us this far. More importantly, the greatest of it all, the reinstitution or reintroduction or the activation or reactivation of the Biafra Republic government in exile. That government, when it was formed in 2023, our Prime Minister made us to understand that the Biafran people can no longer be taken for a ride. And since the formation of BRGIE, the government have demonstrated that it has come to liberate the Biafran people. So we appreciate our Prime Minister and we appreciate our leader at the moment, the man who is leading BRGIE to this glorious height. We call him the messenger. He said he is a messenger of Biafra. His Excellency, Honorable Ogechukwu Nkere, the acting Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. We appreciate you so much, sir. Thank you for your commitment, for your tenacity, for your consistency, and your courage, even in the face of all manner of fake news against you, all manner of propaganda against you. You have been able to stand the test of time, not even looking back or even listening to the sabos who are on the sideline trying to discourage you, trying to destroy what you are doing, but you have remained committed towards this goal. We appreciate you, our APM. We also appreciate Maazi Sonny Akparawa, the Okokondem of our time. Arch Ebong Maazi Sonny Akparawa, the best minister of information of this generation. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I will not fail to appreciate the commitment of all the cabinet members who are also supporting this government to make sure that it moves to the permanent site. We appreciate you so much. We will not forget to mention the lobbyists who promised Biafran people that they are going to be our voice in Washington, D.C. They are going to speak for us. They will be our freedom fighters. They committed to discuss, and they continue to do the needful. We appreciate him as well. Just give me a minute, please.
Okay, while waiting, I don't know how long the minute will be. Holland, sorry, now that time has permit. Will you wait for David or will you continue briefly before he comes? Holland, can you hear me?
Right. I can hear you.
Huh?
I can hear you. Holland speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Once David is back, let me step down. Is David there?
He's not yet back.
David, are you back, sir? Okay. So, thank you very much. I want to really appreciate and I want to say thank you very much. It has been very challenging with my side ever since the space has been on. And I've been facing attack on this line. At least I want to say thank you for the privilege that you've given to me to notice that I've been challenged, and just permit me to enjoy the accolade, applaud, and the greetings that has been given ahead through David. Every single of our leaders and ministers that has been on and on fighting to date. Thank you very much for the work of your hand has really spoke greatly, not just a little, a great deal has been on this that we can testify to see importance of having a leader that is so selfless in the person of our Oyendu and greatly our Prime Minister. Indeed, I must say thank you, Oyendu. You said we should listen to him. Go and listen to Simon Ekpa. Indeed, we listen. And he has brought something. He said, if there is nothing on table, I think I have. Go and look for anyone again. I'm 50 in one. And I will bring something if there is nothing on the table. Indeed, our PM has done a great job. A great job that has caused a very big earthquake to the zoo presently. And we are so happy that the satellite is on the zoo presently. And we are so grateful that the cause of what we are fighting for has begun to make impact and great meaning. And the world is actually speaking about the evil and the genocide that is taking place and being enhanced by these evil politicians and evil leaders of religions. I will call them fake one. I will call them people like Primate, Ayodele, whatever. I wonder how we got to this place. I used to be in love with all these people before. Then even the so-called Adeboye, I used to be in love with them before, but I'm so disappointed in them that you can open your mouth to say Tinubu should tell Trump to give you 100 days. Where were you when your pastors were killed? Did you spoke out for Leah? Did you spoke out for Deborah? But you can come out to fight politics against Jonathan. It's your tribal man now. You open your mouth to say he should plead with Trump to give you 100 days because you are playing a joker. I wonder how we'll get to this. And I wish the way my insight has come to be open, I wish all that follow them, their insight can be open. It will be better and better and better enough that you can read and you can understand what your scriptures say. Then you don't need them. They are only embedded with grace. Grace of what? The grace of their commitment to the God they choose to love. Likewise, you can do the same thing. You don't need them to channel your relationship with God. You and yourself, you can relate with your maker. This should be a very great time for them to defend the flocks. This should be a very great opportunity for them to stand out in the faith. This should be a great moment for them to defend the Christians and every other religion within this trapped contraction. Yet, their voices are not much. Few of them are speaking. A lot of them are silent. That has name. A lot of them are silent. We are so ashamed, and even these people that you are trying to cover up because of whatever businesses you have turned the gospel into, because of God of Mammon that you people are worshiping now, that I can't just fathom how faith has come to this extent that a man who is not even a man who has not the calling of becoming a shepherd, but carry a great responsibility of shoulder on his shoulder as a leader he was, chooses to speak not just for even the nation of Nigeria, but across the globe. Yet, you people, you open your pulpit round the world. You have your branches round the world. You harness even the gospel round the world. Yet you cannot protect them. Yet you cannot speak for them. Yet you cannot defend them. Can you see what is playing out now? The Northerners has really come out. See how they brought the picture of Donald Trump and they are burning it. That's automatically a war being declared. And do you think they can stand shoulder to shoulder with the war power? They are complicit and they cannot be covered. No, they are not hiding it. They identify that these terrorists, they are their brothers, they are their uncles, they are their husbands, they are their home, they are their cousins, they are their blood, and they cannot allow the US to intrude into the country. They tells you that no, even we so-called Biafran, we are not ready to live with terrorists. We want to live a life that makes meaning. We want to live a life that is even benefiting humanity. We want to live a life that is given to us by God and be productive and impactful. So how will you condone evil for long and cover it up in the name of whatever? And you are silent, and you are quiet, and you are politicizing everything. Can you go to Biafra and remove all your branches? You are not speaking for them. The one in the northern side and the middle belt, you have your branches there. Can you go there and remove it? You are not speaking for them. And you can say, you can encourage an enabler of evil. When they started coming, we raise a voice ticket, they raise a voice against them that this Muslim ticket is handy somewhere. And you are still backing this evil agenda of jihadists,
Hold on,
telling
my
the
brother.
world leader to start that.
Hold on, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
I want to learn from you now. You are deviating from the section that we are. I want to learn. I've been talking all alone. What can you contribute to this topic? This particular one, gong, gong, gong. If you get my point, you are deviating.
Yes.
Yes, you see. So that means you were not jotting. You were not jotting down points. You see, I want to
you
learn.
know,
You see the
I
problem.
went offline. I went.
Continue. I
Maybe
just
now
want to draw your attention back to what we were talking. Yeah, continue.
yeah. Let me allow let me allow David to come up while I'll bring up my line of thought back again. Thank you.
Okay. Because I want to learn from you. David, go ahead, please. If you are back.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. We are still on lobbying, right?
Yeah,
Because
we
I
are
was
still on
being
lobbying. I just finished the resolution document that Wilmore submitted. What again did we do? Yeah, those were the two sections.
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my sister, and thank you, BIAFRANS, for lending your voices to what we are talking about. You see, the reason why we are here talking about lobbying, talking about every other topic is because it is very, very important to us as a people who have first faced a lot of challenges in the cause to be free out of where we find ourselves. Nigeria have destroyed a lot of our people's psyche. You see a lot of people come up and say, oh, when you talk about you are fighting for your freedom, a lot of people will say they are better off in Nigeria. You ask them their reasons, they tell you, oh, that we can't afford to fight another civil war because during the civil war, a lot of people died, a lot of children died, properties were destroyed, and all the rest of it. And you ask them, are they comfortable in that one Nigeria? They say, no, you are not comfortable in Nigeria. You don't want another war, but you want freedom. They think that freedom can be given. They don't actually know that freedom is actually taken. And that is the reason why we are here today. And one of the ways in which we can get our freedom is engaging the services of lobbyists. And we are in that process. We have our lobbyists who are lobbying for our freedom. I know the definition of lobby have already been well known to each and every one of us. Just like yesterday, our tutors told you that lobby, in Nigeria, when you talk about lobby, they think it's, kickback. They think it's bribery and corruption. No, lobbying is organized legal influence on government decisions. It is not bribery. It's information plus relationships and pressure. You know what that means? You have information, you have relation with people you need that information or you want to pass that information to, and you as well try as much as possible to lobby them to accept, to pressure them, to accept what you have or what you are bringing to the table before them. That is what we call lobbying. Okay? It is very, very important. But a lot of people don't understand what it actually means. So, our Biafra Republic government in exile, we have a lobbying firm that is actually doing the needful at this critical time in our freedom. And it's very, very important that Biafrans should understand that lobbying is not just for corporations. It is also a secret weapon of every freedom fighter who wants to turn or who turns ideas into laws. Okay? If you look at our lobbying firm, Moral, Global, and Strategies, you will understand that they know how and what lobbying is all about, because they have been in the game for a very long time. So we having lobbyists at this particular time is to prove to you who doesn't understand what lobbying is all about, is that under international law, under international way of fighting for the freedom, lobbying is very much acceptable, and lobbying is very much appreciated as well. Do you know that lobbying provides expertise to overworked lawmakers? Are you aware that without lobbyists, laws will not be written in a vacuum? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that you have to make people who you are speaking to, you have to give them the benefit of doubt that what you are going to provide to the table is what they will actually need, and it is what will be beneficial to the both parties, you and those who you want them to listen to you. Are you aware that lobbying is not only buying influence? You are not only buying influence, lobbying is the engine of informed policy making in complex democracies. In other words, if you want the government of the day, just like we are in Washington, D.C., we want them to listen to what is happening for us or to us. You have to sit down and make them understand the reason why these things that are happening to you are not welcomed in your society. And you have to promise them that even when you are given that opportunity to come out from the situation that you find yourself at that particular time, that you have a better plan, a better answer to what you are running away from. This is the reason why we have modern global strategies, and they are using their expertise in order to make sure that the policymakers in America, they know what we are talking about, and they can as well accede or assent to our request. I want you also understand that lobbying represents diverse interests. Okay? It is not about only our own or you that is lobbying. In lobbying, the person you are lobbying will need his interest. You that is also lobbying, we also like to present your own interest. Okay? So it is not a one-sided issue. It is something that is just like when you are washing your hand. You put water in your hand. The left hand is washing the right hand. The right hand is washing the left hand, and that is actually what our lobbyists are doing in Washington, D.C. Just like you had the other time that we have, a kind of agreement with the American government. Yes, this is as a result of the fallout from the lobbyists or from our lobby, which have always made sure that our acting prime minister have series of meetings in order for him or for the Biafran Republic government in exile to table their needs before the American congressmen and women. And as well, they are going to listen what America is going to present before them as what they may need in order to listen to whatever our government have to say. Are you aware that when with the presence of our lobbyists, it prevents bad laws through early feedbacks? You see, when our lobbyist knows what our government of America is all about, our lobbyists will always brief the Biafran Republic government in exile. What are the laws of America? This is where you are supposed to go. This is where you are not supposed to go. In other words, our lobbyists test drive regulations before they became law. So this is very, very important. As long as we want to be a free nation, you have to go through the rudiments, through the stipulated processes before you can get to your destination. And having our lobbyists will even make it more easier, because they are going to even give you all the necessary quality control that you need for the democracy that you derive. Very, very important. I want also to understand that through lobbying, we can understand the drives for economic growth and innovations. In other words, if our lobbyists are able to present our cases before the American government, they can as well share ideas, share information on what needs to be done in order for us to have a very viable growth in our economic cycle, as well as innovation that they think will be healthy for the population of Biafra. So it is very, very important. Just like we hear people saying, oh, why are you wasting money on lobbying? Don't you think that what you need at this time is to create awareness, is to make sure that, oh, the Nigerian terrorist states, they are evicted from your land? And I ask you, if they are being evicted from your land, who are those who are going to make America or the world know that you have an army? Without we having a lobbyist, how do you think that the American government will know that we have an army? Remember, our APM in one of the meetings with the congressmen asked him, do you have an army? He has to answer yes. You know that if that meeting was not scheduled, how would the lawmaker been able to sit down with our APM to ask him such a question if we had an army? But our lobbyists made it possible that that meeting was scheduled and held. And so therefore, every pertinent question that need to be answered, the APM will give them the necessary answer that the American Congress expects to hear from our government. This is very, very important. I want also to know that through lobbying, you can also hold the government accountable. Yes, because lobbying serves as watchdog, which exposes waste, corruption, and fraud, and also forces transparency in governance. In other words, if you have a lobbyist can be able to tell you that this government is wasteful in its spending. It can as well tell you that this government is corrupt. And you should listen to our lobby elayers. Through their process and their experience that they have in lobbying, they collect information that goes around throughout the world. And they can be able to tell you that when they look at this government, they say that yes, this government is actually the government of the people, or this government is actually a terrorist or a corrupt government. And that is why in the case of Nigeria, I don't think there is any lobby. Even you that is not a lobbyist, even you that is just an ordinary citizen, actually understand that your government is corrupt, that your government is fraudulent, and that your government is not transparent. All this information are very much available. Who actually know what they are doing, who actually understand the enormous responsibility that rests on their shoulders. You can see what's happening in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, and that of the Nigerian terrorist state. The lobbyists are watching, they are collecting information and making a lot of documentaries. Very, very important. So in the nearest future, even if after Biafra might have gotten their independence, other lobbyists that may know what they know their onions, or they have their ear to the ground, have already documented that evidence against Nigeria. So whenever Nigeria comes to present themselves, to engage the services of any lobbyist, that lobbyists will go through the files of Nigeria, which they have in decades past, and can be able to dig out information about what Nigeria is all about. So the lobbyists also provide accessible information about certain individuals that your government or you want to speak with. Very, very important. And that is why in some of the, if you see the diplomatic meetings that our APM have had with certain number of senators, you will understand that all these senators have certain key positions in whatever they are doing. It is as a result of the underground work that the lobbyists have done, can be able to suggest, you have to see this guy, he's in charge of the arms committee, you have to see this person, he's in charge of the foreign affairs, you have to see this person, he's in charge of finance and all the rest of them. So the lobbyists also provide a balanced power in a polarized system. Very, very important. So lobbying built by partisan coalitions. If you are a lobbyist, just like our LAS, you can see that during the course of our APM going to Washington, D.C., the lobbyists have been able to build a kind of coalition and a kind of understanding between those policymakers in Washington, D.C., either Republicans and Democrats. This is what we call bipartisan, okay? So that decisions cannot be taken on a one-sided side. It has to be in coordination with those two parties. And this is as a process that the lobbyists have made it possible for our government to be able to liaise with all these people without any of them having to have any ill feeling about Biafran Republic government in exile. The same thing applies to our government. If our government is ready and willing to negotiate with any party in the quest for our freedom, now we don't have any enemy. We can never make enemies while we are building a very varied and versatile society for the Biafran people. So it is very, very important that those of you who were clamoring that, oh, the lobbyists, we don't need lobbyists at this time, should understand that lobbyists play a very important role in this, our fight for freedom. I will end with this. I want you to know that lobbyists bridges the gap that divides the politicians as well as the people. When the politicians are fighting in order to take everything that belongs to them, it is the lobbyist that is now going to educate them or trying to let them know the feelings of the people about them. So lobby bridges divides when politicians can't. Very, very important. So at this juncture, I want us to understand that our lobbyists, moral, global, and strategies, they have done a very nice job for the Biafran Republic government in exile. And that is why when you go through our website, you can see all the diplomatic engagement that the government of Biafra through our APM have done in Washington, D.C. It is as a result of the good work in collaboration with our lobbyists, men and women, that made it happen. And that is the reason why everybody who have not joined in this freedom for Biafra must join hands at this particular time, because with the lobbyists, we have been able to break the yoke in entering Washington, D.C., because our, the oppressors never wanted us to get this far, because they thought they have all that it takes. They have the money. They have the resources. So they lobbied the world. In fact, they lobbied all the whole media in order to make sure that we never get close to Washington, D.C. But Chukwu Okike Abiama made it possible and selected a very wonderful reliable, and pragmatic lobbying firm for us. And since 2024, that these lobbies came on board, Biafra's name, Biafra freedom, have gone to the highest level that it has ever met in modern history. And that is why everybody should come on board at this particular time to support the good works that the BRGIE is doing and support our lobbyists as they continue to march forward, making sure that just like the promise that they made to us, Jim Mora said that he will try his possible best, even if he cannot guarantee, but he will try his possible best because politics is not predictable. Okay? He knows the reason why he said that, but he made it categorically clear that he is going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that our plight, to make sure that the reason why we came to them is brought before the policymakers in America. And to God be the glory, we can beat our chest and say that, yes, at this particular time, they have exceeded our expectation. And we know that in no distant time, they will climax it with the eventual recognition of the Confederating United States of Biafra. And then each and every one of you will understand that without the lobbyists, Biafra wouldn't have been in this pedestal at this particular time. I really appreciate you, my sister, for giving me this opportunity as I yield my mic from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, King David. I've just learned something new now. I've added that to my dictionary. Thank you so much. God bless you. Real good. Don't go, hang on, because we are entering the next session. And Roland told me he's coming back. I'm still waiting. Once Roland come back with his own submission, we will give him the mic. Okay, our Minister Snow is here. Welcome, sir. 1 million, Minister 1 million is here. Welcome, sir. Storm, Ekujo Emedio, welcome. Holland, you are here in the listening session. I've sent you mic.
Who is this sharing link?
Welcome everyone. Welcome. Those who were not here when we started.
This link here?
We continue to
Who is sharing
talk about our lobbyists and then just an overview of what we have done.
Young youth.
We are still on the topic, the power of lobbying, and then the power of lobbying had also introduced something new today again, which is the resolution document that Donald Trump mandated Rely More to submit. Rely More submitted that document yesterday. Yeah, so we use that to also expatiate. All that happened because of the work of our lobbyists. We spoke at length, and yeah, we were able to do a little justice to it. And then that now extended us to those that have been denied. We spoke on that yesterday. So because of time, we did not dwell so much on that, like Gumi and Daniel and the BBC and all of them that are denying that there is no genocide in Nigeria. So we started with China yesterday and we stopped halfway. Yeah, but there is something I want to add now to China because, we couldn't dwell much yesterday on China and everyone that is supporting one Nigeria and unity of Nigeria so much yesterday because of time. Because if you can also look at what China is doing, they are really opposing this US-BRGIE partnership that we are into. Because they know that US military base in Nigeria will also mean that US will monitor every Chinese activities that will be going on. So they are also panicking. Yes. And once we have our independence now, everything about Nigeria will go into pieces. It will be shredded. And what would that be to China? China is going to lose all those strategic assets that they got by fraud or through fraud from the Nigerian terrorist government. They are going to lose everything. all the loans we discussed yesterday that they've borrowed Nigeria so much money, they are going to lose it. So that is why China is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that US does not come in. But they came very, very late because we have so many pieces of evidence out there that truly there is genocide going on in Nigeria. So now we are continuing exactly from where we stopped yesterday. So now, one other thing that is making China to panic and then seek for the unification of Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria, and they making sure that US does not come in, even though they failed before they started, is the counterfeit drug business. Yes, counterfeit drug business. And a senator had tweeted on this, and his name is Senator Carton. He said, dangerous and ineffective counterfeit drugs from communist China pose an increasing threat to consumers. Our bill will crack down on all counterfeit drugs to ensure Arkansans have access to safe and effective medicine. We know very well. Okay, Holland, you are back. Okay, let me hold on. When you finish, I'll continue. Holland, you have the mic. Let me hold on for you to finish before I continue. Can you hear? Where are you? Hey, that's kicked him out again. Shuhada. Shuhada, Roland. Why is it like this with you today? Okay, we'll wait now. Continue. When he comes, I'll give him. Okay, so we know very well that in Nigeria, the king of fake drugs is China. So you see that Nigeria is flooded with Chinese counterfeit drugs.
Internet. They don't want me to do what I'm doing. Customer care. These people are just crazy, I swear to God. Is anybody hearing me from TikTok? I think the internet is not working. Service, so hey.